Hi Shraddha, welcome to NEXWEB podcast.
Hi, Shrishti. Thank you so much for having me today.
Shraddha, can you share your background? Why did you choose registered migration as a profession in Australia?
So many kids, for example, a family of three, at least two kids are going overseas. In some houses, there are three kids all overseas. And first of all, we have a document checklist for almost every visa subclass, and we give that out to our client. And when we're trying to formulate that checklist itself, we just don't rely on the Department of Immigration website. Being a migration agent, we have the privilege of getting hold of the migration policy and the laws and the acts where all the documents are properly listed, and there's reasoning behind why that particular document is needed.
What strategies do you use to make sure that the documentation of applicants is accurate and meet the requirements set by Australian immigration?
First of all, we have a document checklist for almost every visa subclass, and we give that out to our client. And when we're trying to formulate that checklist itself, we just don't rely on the Department of Immigration website. Being a migration agent, we have the privilege of getting hold of the migration policy and the laws and the acts where all the documents are properly listed, and there's reasoning behind why that particular document is needed.
Shraddha, what's the difference between the applicants of high risk country, low risk country, and 190 visa and regional 491 visa?
The main difference between the high risk and the low risk country comes down to when you're applying for a student visa and when you're providing the documents.
Shraddha, you talk about the registered nurses, but what about the doctor? Like they can migrate to Australia and can they get permanent residency through doctor? What's the process?
And they can't just come to Australia for PR straight away. They need to find an employer, and they need to work for that employer for. Normally, it depends on the employer itself. Some employers make you work for 2 years, some 4 years,
Visa fee
and
is
then
so high, and they have a children in Australia. But why the Australian immigration is taking too much lengthy time to grant a permanent residency for parents? Like 12 years is too much, isn't
the
it?
department are well aware of it. But because parent visa has capping, which means in a particular year they cannot give parent visa grants more than certain amount. And with the past freedom of information that we've obtained from the department, it hasn't been more than 5,000 applications per year. About 60 to 70,000 are the contributory parent visa, which is 94,000 ones. So people are ready to pay, but because of the capping, they cannot grant more than that capping of the visa.